Yeah, what's going on, guys? It's Trey back again here, bringing another video. So this one's going to be talking about UFC, the Ultimate Fighter in Brazil, and the matchup between the coaches. So the coaches for UFC Brazil, the Ultimate Fighter Brazil, or TUF Brazil, are going to be Vitor Belfort and Wanderlei Silva. So that is a pretty interesting matchup between the two. They have faced each other before, early on in the UFC's early days. And the match was really quick. I think it ended in less than 20 seconds with Vitor knocking out Wanderlei with his patented Vitor Belfort flash blitz, as he likes to use a lot of times. Vitor Belfort is a very exciting fighter because he's so offensive. He's such an offensive fighter. He's not a defensive fighter at all. He's not great at taking punishment. His chin, like you saw against Anderson Silva with the kick, I mean, that could have knocked out anybody. But, he's a guy who's, if things aren't going his way, he loses. If he doesn't knock you right out or, beat your ass, he's going to lose. He doesn't have great defense. He's not great at blocking. He's not great at taking punishment. And he tends to quit a lot in fights. Now, here's the thing about this fight. When Vitor fought Wanderlei last time, Vitor was very young. Wanderlei was a little bit older, but he was just getting sort of started in his career before Wanderlei had reached stardom and pride, and gone on a crazy winning streak for years and years, until he fought Mirko Krokop and got that head kick from hell that he received, unfortunately. But really, when you look at it, they were just sort of both starting their careers at that time when they fought the first time, and now they're completely different fighters. I mean, that was so many years ago and everything. It really doesn't have any bearing on today and what's going on now. So let's look at their most recent fights. Vitor just beat Akiyama badly, and then of course you have Wanderlei, who just defeated Cung, very surprising, he was an underdog in that fight. A lot of people, including myself, thought he was going to lose that, and he took it to him. He looked very impressive, although he didn't look very good against Chris Lieben before that. So, and the other thing too is about Cung is that Cung was always fighting in Strikeforce. He never really fought A-level competition. He never fought in Pride, and he never fought in the UFC before that. So we didn't really know how good Cung was, and we still don't really know how good he is because, he did lose to Wanderlei, so where does that put him? And not like Wanderlei in his prime, but now, Wanderlei is older now, and Wanderlei's chin also is not like what it used to be. Chris Lieben hit him with a couple shots that didn't look like they were that hard. Hit him right on the button, and Wanderlei went out really quickly. Now, can that happen to anybody? Yeah, I guess it can, but, it just seemed like his age and stuff had slowed him down so much. I can't picture Wanderlei in his prime and pride being beaten by a guy like Chris Lieben. I just can't see that happening no matter what. So, I'm not 100% sure if Wanderlei really still has it. He did beat Cung, but, I don't know. I don't know. Vitor, on the other hand, did lose to Anderson, but other than that, he's beaten everybody. He hasn't lost another fight except for that front kick from Anderson. There's no shame in losing to Anderson. There's no question about that. So in this fight, when it comes down to it, it could go either way because Wanderlei throws bombs. Vitor has no defense. Like, when Vitor gets hit, both of them are, their chins aren't very good anymore. So if either of them gets landed on, they're not going to tough through it. They're not like Chuck Liddell in his prime when you would just hit him on the chin and he'd just keep coming. Like back in the day when Al Overeem, kneed him and, was teeing off on Chuck right in the chin, and he just stood there and took it. These guys know one or two punches to the chin, or to the face, and they're out. Either one, Vitor or Wanderlei. Now, the thing is that Wanderlei likes to use a lot of looping punches, and he comes in and he throws hard, he throws heavy, he throws, humongous, haymaker punches like crazy, and he's super fast at it. But he times them well. We saw him time them really well against Cung before he beat Cung. Throwing some knees there. How is that going to do against Vitor? Well, I think anytime you take a puncher who throws, haymakers like that, and you put him against somebody who is a very technical boxer like Vitor, you kind of have to go with the guy who's more technical, because unless the other guy powers through him. Vitor throws a lot more straight punches and he's faster. So the way I look at it is kind of like, since Wanderlei doesn't really use his feet at all, he's going to have to box with Vitor, and he's going to have to hope that he lands and doesn't get landed on. Vitor's hands are really fast. Is there anyone out there who thinks that Chris Lieben has better hands than Vitor Belfort? I really don't think so. So in this fight, I gotta lean towards Vitor just because he's so much faster. He's got that offensive style, and Wanderlei doesn't. I don't think Wanderlei really has the speed anymore. I think his reflexes are starting to wean a little bit, and I see Vitor taking this fight, no question about it. After he beats Wanderlei, we could see him fighting the winner of maybe, or the loser of Chael Sonnen and Mark Munoz, maybe Anderson one more time. But I don't know. Anderson's getting, he got injured and he's been out for a while. So when he comes back, Anderson will be fighting the winner of Chael Sonnen and Munoz. And then, we'll see if Vitor ever gets a title shot again. He might, but he might not also, because at least the title shot against Anderson, because I do see Anderson retiring eventually. I mean, I don't know how long he can keep this up for. He's already 37, and being at the top of the heap like that's not easy. So, and he's getting injured. So I guess we'll see how it goes with Anderson. But as far as this fight goes, I think I'm picking Vitor. Although the split's not very high, because if Wanderlei lands even one of those haymakers, or is able to Muay Thai clinch him and land a knee, it's only going to take one, and Vitor will be out probably. But that being said, Vitor is just a little bit more technical, and I think that Vitor is going to take this. That's it for this one, guys. See you for the next one later. Peace.